Alright, so the game is done to do absolutely everything that the game allows you to do before completion. It took roughly about 83 hours. Well, we'll be generous and round it up to 84. 84 hours to do everything. So now he's done and he doesn't know what to do with himself. Oh no, we have a game plan for after the game. It's called Go Back to Training. They're keeping us 40-year-old guys connected to our junior high days with this. Yeah, they really are. They really, really are. But I really gotta say, because now I'm recording, this is without dispute my game of the year. You get so much bang for your buck for this, and like I got the deluxe edition, so this ran me about $100. Combat is better than ever before. The synergy system is absolutely fantastic. It takes a little getting used to because it requires you to use your ATB gauges in order to kind of use it effectively, and you don't get access to level 2 limit breaks unless you're actively using the synergy system, and it took me like half the game to figure that out. Story-wise, this was great until the last 2 chapters. Chapter 13 and 14, this game went so off the rails. I am generally never that confused at a Final Fantasy. I didn't know what the hell they were doing this time around. Like, shoot, had zero clue where they were going with this. Minigames, the minigames were okay. As much as I bitched about Queen's Blood, I've definitely played worse. I'm just not a fan of card games. And the fact that I had to do 31 matches of it because they tied a subplot to the damn card game, that got old pretty fast. But I'm fully prepared to be alone on that island because I have already heard a ton of people absolutely adore Queen's Blood. And I will admit the game is fun if you know exactly what you're doing and you have the right cards in your deck. Favorite minigame definitely had to be Chocobo Racing. Chocobo Racing was... that was just the best. And I would happily go back and do some more Chocobo Racing because, God, that was so much fun. What else? Open world intel. Everything came in either packs of 4 or 6. And I really feel like that was overkill. Like, did we really need to do that much of the same thing in every single region? Like, unlocking the towers, fine. That's okay. The proto-relic. The proto-relic in each region was... it had you doing a different thing every time, so... the towers and the proto-relic, I'll let go. The life spring stuff. That was super easy, but did we need 4 of them? The communion with the summon material, or materia, excuse me, was fine, I suppose. The scavenging missions were kinda eh. But I think that's only because of the response time of the Chocobos. Chocobo reaction time to sniffing out an item and then digging up the item. It really felt like that was slow and deliberate on purpose, and I don't understand why the game would want to waste your time like that. Especially since it constantly encouraged you to be dashing all the time. And if you're dashing all the time, then your aim while driving that giant bird has to be perfect, because the slightest twig will just knock you back, stun you, and then you're waiting another 10 seconds before he'll just kind of, ugh, okay, we can move again. a lot of that stuff felt very slow and deliberate, and I don't see why they couldn't have just sped that up. The side missions, like the actual side missions, like the Merc job board, some of that was okay, but a lot of it just felt so pointless. Like, a lot of it just felt very, very pointless. Um, I kind of wish that the Merc board had been tied to the land intel, and I feel like that would have sped things up a little bit more. Combat intel didn't bug me too much. Again, I think it's just a situation of like, why does there need to be 6 of them? Instead of like 3 could have very much gotten the point across. I'm trying to think of what else. Like, everybody's character was fantastic, except Red 13, or Nanaki. Nanaki with the... And I'm going to be talking spoilers here, so if you don't want to be spoiled over there in YouTube land, you might want to mute me now. Once you get to Cosmo Canyon, Red's voice completely changes to that of a teenage boy, and I understand why they did it, but it doesn't make me dislike it any less, if you catch my meaning there. Him constantly sounding like this, and talking very serious, and being smug, and being a little smart aleck, to suddenly talking like this, and oh my god, hey guys, and it's like, like, it was very off-putting. Some of the, I guess you could call them Easter eggs? Certain locations you don't see, and then other locations you spend much more time in than you did before. The most notable one would definitely be Gungaga. Gungaga in the original game, you were in and out of that bastard in like 10 minutes. Where here, God, it felt like we spent an entire day in the Gungaga region. Seeing the return of Cisne from Crisis Core, that was a cool way to tie it in, since, well, they released this just a few months before they released this. So that was a cool way to tie it in. Whoever this Lodbrok guy is from Wutai, he is obviously tied to the mobile / Steam game that is like Raid Shadow Legends, but it's actually Final Fantasy characters. Ever Crisis, I think it's called. There's a whole chapter in Ever Crisis called The First Soldier or The Ultimate Soldier. I don't remember. It's slow, it's boring, and then on top of that, it's a gacha title, which means if you want good stuff, you gotta pony up dough, and I'm not doing that. But I may need to go back to that, because that seems to be the only type of backstory I'm ever gonna find out about this guy. Rufus clearly has some history with him. He has ties to Wutai, who is at war with Shinra, or at least they're gonna be at war with them again. Once you get to the Temple of the Ancients, things go completely off the rails, and they bring into reality of the 2 intersecting timelines, or the 2 parallel running timelines, one with Zack, one with Cloud. And again, spoilers, if you haven't beaten the game yet, number 1, why are you watching this video? Pause it, go beat the game, come back and watch the video. The final fight at the end, I had a feeling we were going to fight Sephiroth again, and it was so nice to see that 80 plus hours of getting teased of, will we get to play with Zack some more, finally came to fruition when the thing I predicted 4 years ago finally happened. That the timelines intersect, Zack and Cloud are on the same plane together, facing down Sephiroth. I could barely contain my excitement. Like, that was hands down the coolest part of the game. Like, I was so happy to see that finally happen. The ending is a little concerning. How are they going to play into this whole situation of, like, only Cloud can see her? And, number one, Square... am I past? Yeah, I'm past 10 minutes. Square, fuck you for giving us the biggest dick tease of all time. And I'm probably just going to put spoilers in big, bold letters right here on the screen. For giving us a glimmer of hope. Of making us think for exactly 7 seconds. Which, I see what you did there with that. 7 seconds of making us think we actually stopped Sephiroth from killing Aerith. Only to yank the rug right out from underneath us. And it wound up not being true. You are evil for that. Absolutely evil. But even with some of the stuff that really annoyed me in this game, this is right up there with God of War Ragnarok. This is right up there with Mass Effect. This is right up there with Ghost of Tsushima and Days Gone. In many ways, it surpasses it. This was one of the greatest games I have ever played. And I have no idea whatsoever how they're going to top this. 4, 6, 8 years, however long it takes for the final chapter of this to come out, I will make sure I am there to see it, because this was a real game changer. And if you haven't played it, you need to. That's really all I can say on that.